Hey everyone, welcome back to Scene Decoded. Today we're diving deep into another incredible episode of The Beginning After the End. So the episode opens with Arthur finally reaching his family after years of being away. His parents see him and immediately get overwhelmed with emotion, hugging Arthur tight. But here's where it gets interesting. There's this little girl there who tells Arthur's mom, "Don't cry, mommy." Arthur's completely confused at first, right? But then it hits him like a truck. He remembers what his father told him during that last fight with those thugs. Make sure to protect your mother because you're going to have a little brother or sister. And boom. Arthur realizes this little girl standing in front of him is his baby sister. The introduction scene is so wholesome. Arthur introduces himself and his mom tells the little girl, Eleanor, "This is your big brother." Eleanor is absolutely shocked, like you can see it in her expressions. The family dynamic here is just beautifully written. Next scene, they're all sitting together as a family and Arthur's mom is doing what every mom does. She's worried about his health. She's like, "When you contacted us, you said you were sick. Are you okay now?" And when Arthur says yes, she immediately goes into full mom mode. "You look like you haven't been eating properly. You've gotten thinner." But here's what I love. Eleanor feels a bit left out seeing everyone fussing over Arthur. So mom calls her over and reminds her about all those bedtime stories they used to tell her about her big brother. This is that big brother. And Arthur, being the sweet brother he is, tells Eleanor how happy he is to meet his little sister. And can we talk about Sylvie? Even she takes a liking to Eleanor immediately and goes right to her. The bond formation is instant. Now Arthur starts explaining everything that happened to him to his parents. Well, almost everything. Smart move, not mentioning Sylvia though. He tells them about how he survived, how he met Tessia, and how he recovered in the kingdom of Eleanor. His mom, being the protective parent she is, asks if that illness will ever come back. Arthur explains it happened because his mana core awakened too early. But here's Arthur's internal thought process that I found brilliant. He's thinking, "I'm telling my parents a partial truth, because if they knew how powerful I've become, it might be risky without them knowing the full story." When they ask about Sylvie, Arthur gives them a cover story. Found her near a beast nest where her mother had died, couldn't leave her alone, so he brought her along. The parents are understanding about it, which shows their character. This is where things get technical and exciting. Ray asks Arthur about his mana core stage, and Alice tries to stop him, saying, "Your son just came home after so long, and you're asking him these kinds of questions." But Ray's like, "What's wrong with that? I'm just comparing my growth with my son's." Arthur asks what his father's been up to, and Ray explains he got a job at Helstea auction house as a security team instructor. Pretty impressive. Then Ray reveals he hit Deep Orange stage 2 years ago. Here's where Arthur gives us that amazing mana system explanation. The mana colors go in ascending order: black, red, orange, yellow, silver, and white. Each color has 3 different stages: deep, standard, and light. Arthur notes that his father is an augmenter, so he physically trains himself, which is why his mana stage improves. When Arthur reveals he's at light red stage, Ray is absolutely stunned. He's like, "You're almost catching up to me. How did you even reach there?" But before Arthur can answer, Ray gets excited and says, "Forget about that. Let's go to the backyard and fight." Just as they're about to enjoy family time, Vincent Helstea arrives with his family. Arthur's shocked and wonders if these people are his family's friends. Ray introduces Vincent as his boss who runs the auction house, along with his wife Tabitha. Arthur shows incredible manners when meeting them, which surprises everyone. Then they introduce their daughter Lilia to Arthur. The moment Lilia sees Sylvie, she's absolutely shocked by how adorable she is, and starts playing with her immediately. Ray then drops this bombshell on Arthur. "Actually, this house belongs to Vincent. Good thing you introduced yourself properly before causing any havoc." Vincent's confused about the havoc comment, and Ray explains he's about to fight Arthur in the garden. Vincent's mind is blown. Finally, we get to the garden for the much-anticipated fight. Everyone's sitting around to watch this epic showdown. Vincent can't believe they're actually going to fight, and Alice explains that Ray mentioned Arthur's mana core is light red. Vincent's initial reaction is disbelief, but Alice confirms it, saying Arthur's always been a fast learner. Vincent's amazement is relatable. He mentions that even among elves, 12-year-old prodigies are rare, and kids from Xyrus Academy barely reach deep red. Meanwhile, Arthur's thinking to himself that his actual mana color is even higher, but Sylvia's will prevented him from practicing properly. The fight begins, and Ray warns Arthur to be careful because Dad's gotten tougher since last time. Arthur's confident response, "I've gotten stronger too." The martial arts combat between them is absolutely incredible. They're giving each other amazing challenges. Ray pushes Arthur saying, "This isn't enough, you need to try harder." So Arthur intensifies his attacks, forcing Ray to dodge properly. Ray gets impressed and decides to get serious, bringing out the fire element. This is where Arthur explains the magic system to us. Sorcerers in this world use elements they're best suited for. First, they figure out which element they're compatible with, then learn to control that specific element. The different elements are fire, water, earth, and wind. But augmenters have more difficulty learning, so they need to work much harder to control their elements. Arthur makes this fascinating comparison to his past life, mentioning how there was a function similar to mana called ki, life force. Just like elements, ki also needed to be fully controlled. If you don't have natural talent for ki but still put in the effort, you'll receive great rewards and learn special abilities. Maybe augmenters in this world work the same way. Ray covers himself completely in fire, and Arthur starts struggling a bit, so he gets serious too and begins using his mana. Everyone's shocked by this display. The fight resumes with both giving each other incredible challenges, but Arthur still seems to be losing. Arthur thinks about his training with Virion and remembers Virion telling him he'd improved a lot in fire element, and now it was time to go beyond that. Back to the present, Arthur starts using advanced magic, and everyone's absolutely stunned because Arthur's using advanced fire magic. Even his father is amazed. Arthur casually says, "Don't be surprised so quickly." But here's the real shocker. Arthur starts using the fountain water nearby. He's now controlling the water element too. Using that water, he attacks his father. Ray tries to dodge these attacks, but some water hits his fire and extinguishes it, ending their fight right there. Everyone's completely blown away. Ray is so impressed he hugs Arthur and asks, "You're amazing. When did you learn all this? How did you learn it? And what all can you do?" Arthur humbly responds that he just learned it recently and can only control it lightly. Vincent and his wife are amazed, calling Arthur a true genius. In the next scene, they're all sitting together, and Vincent tells Ray, "Do you realize how bright your son's future is?" Ray responds that he's known since Arthur awakened at just 3 years old. This shocks everyone, and Alice confirms it, saying that's why their house got destroyed back then. Ray starts laughing so hard at the memory that he falls down. Vincent suggests putting Arthur in Xyrus Academy. Ray's reaction is priceless. "Are you crazy? That academy is the continent's most prestigious magic academy." Vincent's wife supports the idea, saying they'd happily invest in Arthur's future and pay his admission fees given his potential. Alice is touched by their kindness but wonders how Arthur would even get admission. Vincent confidently says he knows the academy director and can speak directly with him. Arthur, showing maturity beyond his years, responds, "Thank you for showing interest, but I've met my family after a long time. I want to spend time with them for now." Vincent understands and respects his decision. Arthur heads off and Lilia approaches him, warning he'll get lost in the basement if he goes that direction. She leads him to the servants and introduces him as today's guest. Arthur's surprised by how much more talkative Lilia has become. A maid explains to Arthur that Lilia only comes here when she's stressed. Her parents want her to awaken as a sorcerer, even though they're not sorcerers themselves. While Lilia also wants to awaken as a sorcerer, she's still just a child, and the pressure is already getting to her. As bedtime approaches, Arthur's parents come to see him. Alice emotionally tells Arthur, "I can't believe you're back with us. You've grown so much and become so handsome." Ray adds, "No matter how different you look, you're still our son. I'm completely confident that you'll become the most powerful sorcerer in the future." Before leaving, Alice asks Arthur for a goodnight kiss, which he gladly gives. Arthur tells them, "I missed you all so much," and they respond with equal emotion. Ray tells Arthur not to feel bad about Vincent's suggestion, and Arthur assures him he didn't take it badly. Vincent was just thinking about his welfare. The next morning brings another emotional scene with all the adventurers arriving. They're all incredibly happy to see Arthur and hug him warmly. Jasmine also hugs Arthur and apologizes, saying, "It was all my fault that you fell. Please forgive me." Arthur reassures her that it wasn't her fault at all, and everyone else gets emotional seeing this reunion. Arthur learns that all these adventurers have returned from Eston City after completing numerous jobs. They've been to places they'd never been before. This makes Arthur realize he knows nothing about this continent or the kingdom since he's never been outside. He thinks maybe he should become an adventurer to learn more about the continent. And that's where this incredible episode ends. Guys, this episode was an absolute emotional roller coaster. The family reunion, the magic system explanations, that epic father-son battle, and the setup for Arthur's future. Everything was perfectly executed. If you enjoyed this review, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe for more anime breakdowns and reviews. We'll see you in the next episode breakdown.